welcome to the Outsider Sports Show. Clint Schweitzer, Noah Groniger, talking NFL, talking Kansas City Chiefs with none other than former Chief JJ Birden, a good friend of the show's. JJ, it's been a while. How's everything going in your world, my man?
Hey, it's going good. And one, I want to thank you guys for inviting me back. It's always good to come hang out with you guys and talk a little bit about football and life and whatever. But things are going good. I got kind of banged up a little bit. Had a shoulder surgery last week, so we are recovering from that right now.
Yes, hopefully getting back on the the active list here in the next couple of weeks. Because JJ, looking at pictures of you, man, you're still very fit. Still look like you get in there and catch some passes from Joe Montana, who also looks very fit at his age. So.
Yeah, well, that's I appreciate it. I'm one of those guys that when I retired in '97, I never stopped working out. I continued to stay active, and I've stepped up my nutrition. So I might look like I can still play, but I don't think so.
Well, you were here in town just a few weeks ago. We wanted to ask you about that because they had the big Chiefs player reunion. They honored Priest Holmes. His name was added to the Ring of Honor there at Arrowhead. We saw you were here. We thought about trying to hit you up and trying to get you out for a night, but we didn't know if your wife would be cool with you returning at 6, 7 a.m. the next morning. We just didn't even want to go there. So, but it looks like you had fun anyway. Did you guys have a good time here in Kansas City? And what some of the experiences you guys had as former Chiefs? I got to see a lot of old teammates, I'm assuming, and it was just a good event all around.
Oh, it was a class event. I mean, the Kansas City Chiefs does it right. I mean, they really do take care of their former players and make them feel welcome at home. And it's always nice to go back and see the players and guys you haven't seen for years and years. And then of course the staff members that are still there. And I think the biggest thing for us was just seeing all the changes there. I mean, wow, they've really done something special with the facilities there. But it's always nice to go back and see everyone.
Well, I'll tell you what, we're in the midst of another big football season. Andy Reid and the Kansas City Chiefs has this team playing very well at 7-3 right now. Of course, you're out in Arizona and you get to see a lot of the Cardinals. They're of course the best record in the league right now. These two teams are going to play out there here in a few weeks. Are you planning on hitting this game up? I mean, that's going to be a big one out there in the desert.
Yeah, it's going to be a big one. They are definitely looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to KC coming to town, and it's funny. I have not been to a Cardinals game since I moved here, so this is the game I'm definitely going to try to get to so I can see the Chiefs. But it should be a really good matchup, and obviously both teams are playing well, so I'm excited to see how it goes.
Well, what do you make of this Chiefs team? I mean, not getting much from the quarterback in terms of yards and touchdowns. The receivers have 0 touchdowns, but this run game defense and Andy Reid's play calling have really shocked us all.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting because, I felt pretty good about the Chiefs coming into this season because I knew that, last year they had a really good year, but I knew the first year was really just that initial year of getting acclimated to a new coach and new system, and that second year is usually pretty critical in terms of when a team can really take it to the next level. So I wasn't panicking when they lost their first couple of games, but it's interesting to see how they're winning. It's like you said, it's run, it's defense, and not as much action at the wide receiver position. So I'm hoping that they definitely open it up because they're going to need those wideouts to show up as they continue to advance on towards the end of the season.
Well, how would you feel being on a team with 0 touchdowns going into Week 12?
Well, guys, I mean, if you think about when we were at Marty, Marty was pretty close. We didn't score a lot of touchdowns when Marty was there, 3, 4, 5 or whatever. But yeah, I would definitely feel a little neglected if I was touchdown-less right now as a wide receiver. But that's the beauty of the offense, though, because what's going to happen is teams are going to try to do what they can to shut down the run game and so forth, and maybe play more guys up front and give the wide receivers more opportunities to catch the ball. So I'm looking forward to seeing some adjustments because if they want to go all the way, they've got to be more well-rounded.
Of course, everybody is going to continue to talk about this until it finally happens, JJ, but the Chiefs haven't won a playoff game since the 93-94 season, a team you were a part of when you guys went down and won in Houston, a game I still remember as if it were yesterday. Sadly, I was 10 years old at the time. I'm 30 now, so some time has passed. Just take us back to that season. We've talked to you about this before, but as we go back to that 93-94 season with Joe Montana, his initial year, go back to winning that playoff game and kind of what that meant as you guys, beat the Steelers at Arrowhead and then were able to win that second game to get the AFC Championship game. Just kind of recall some of your experiences on that team.
Yeah, that 1993 season was exciting. I mean, obviously we had a pretty good team already, and then all of a sudden, we had Joe Montana and Marcus Allen. Two of some of the Hall of Famers, some of the better players ever play, and then getting the chance to play with them, and then to just watch that team kind of evolve and mature through that season. We were having so much fun because we knew that okay, this is a team that has a shot to go all the way, and so going into the playoffs, I mean, every one of those games was just a thrill. Pittsburgh, you're behind, you block a punt, you go into overtime, you win at home, and then you go off to Houston, where Houston was just having an incredible season, almost seemed to be unstoppable, and we have a slow start, but once again, here comes Joe leading the charge, and we come back and went on the road, and I always think about how when that game was over and we got back to Kansas City, all the years I was there, I'd never seen more fans at the airport than after that victory. And it was amazing. And I kept thinking, wow, if you think this is big, what if we go to Buffalo next week and win? So obviously the disappointment was losing to Buffalo, but it was a highlight of my career, really, that year, because I got to play with some great players and I got to go to the AFC Championship game. So a pleasant memory, even though we lost in Buffalo.
Was there some added pressure coming into that season for you and the receivers, Willie Davis, Tim Barnett, because Dave Craig had been there, you'd been with Steve DeBerg, you'd had those type of guys, and then all of a sudden, Mr. Joseph Montana gets there and is under center. Now I've heard you describe him before as kind of more of a silent leader. You didn't screw up because you knew he'd just kind of give you the look. He's not going to chew you out. He's not going to call you names. Just kind of, what was that pressure like with Joe Montana in there? You couldn't screw up. You knew it, but yet he was also still a very classy guy, but you knew not to drop the ball.
Yeah, it was definitely some pressure. I mean, you've got one of the greatest quarterbacks coming to your team who used to throw to the greatest wide receiver in Jerry Rice. So I'd say there was a little bit of pressure there. And for me, it took some time to just get used to playing with Joe. I mean, here's a guy that, he's one of the best, and all of a sudden you're in the huddle with him. And I can recall the very first practice during the off-season program. We're indoors, and I'm just kind of like, man, that's Joe, and I'm trying to get over that. And the first play was X hook, and so I'm thinking, hey, I get to catch the first catch from Joe. This is so cool. So I go to the line, and we call X hook, and I run a 12-yard route. And before I turn around, Joe hit me in the back of the head with the ball. And I was like, hey, what's up with that? And Joe said, hey, here's how I do it. I don't wait for you to get open. I've already scanned the defense. I know where the hole is, so I'm throwing it to an area, and I expect you to get your head around quick and be ready to catch the ball. And I got to tell you, that sentence alone instantly changed my game because I knew that I was playing with a whole different level of a quarterback. So there was that, adapting to his style, and also too, just the pressure of playing with him because Jerry Rice was one of the best, and that was something Willie and I often thought about because I remember an article coming out saying, Joe's here, great quarterback, but he doesn't have Jerry Rice. So there was definitely a kind of a personal goal of ours to show that, hey, we can definitely play the game as well. And if you watch the first game against Tampa Bay, when Willie scored, and I scored that 53-yard touchdown, and when I scored, if you see me nodding my head, because I didn't usually showboat in the end zone, but that was one time where I was saying, I might not be Jerry Rice, but I'm in the end zone right now. So that was kind of my way of saying, hey, I can do this too. So
Absolutely. Well, JJ, I know you're very active on social media. I'm sure every time we mention your name or every time we talk about having you on or we interact with you, fans are always, oh my gosh, that's JJ Birden. JJ Birden. Fans love you. Fans love that name. Fans remember you. How often do you get a chance to interact? I'm sure a lot of Chiefs fans probably hit you up a lot on Facebook and Twitter. I mean, how is it being able to interact with the Chiefs fans at all, or just you're so beloved in so many fans' eyes?
Yeah, well, I enjoy it because as a player, I had a great relationship with the fans. I never felt that I was better than anyone else. I always did what I could, whether it's to sign an autograph or do something for a fan, because it's they come out to see us, and it's the least we can do to show them that respect. So now that the career is over, I love social media because you can interact with the fan. You can interact with people who used to watch you play, and whether they were young or old, and it's amazing because you get some really interesting interesting dialogue on social media with the fans, and I love just connecting with them. They're great, and I mean, let's face it. The Chiefs fans are definitely some of the best fans in all of sports, so no doubt, I definitely want to maintain that connection with them.
Well, what about your college team, the Oregon Ducks, ranked number 2 in the latest poll? What do you think of them? People are saying Florida State's kind of slided; they should be above. They're still an undefeated team, but your Oregon Ducks are playing some strong football up there in the Northwest.
Yeah, it's exciting to see that too. You know, obviously the Oregon program has come a long ways to when I was there in the late 80s and we were just fighting for respect, and the program has truly, truly evolved. And to now see them in contention for possibly a national championship is certainly a thrill. And, you know, I'm watching the Ducks, and you know, they had some injuries early this season and really, really hurt them. And I believe it's one of the reasons why they lost to Arizona. But I like the way they bounced back. I see them kind of got that fire back. I mean, one thing I noticed about the Ducks is that over the years, you know, they had so much success and a lot of these accolades, and I kind of felt at times that maybe they kind of lost that fire, you know, that killer instinct. But I see it this year, and that early loss has made a difference. So I'd love to see those guys finish in the top 4 so they can have a shot at the national championship.
Well, we've got to ask you about some of your endeavors. You're with Isogenics, and you also have a new book coming out you're working on, When Opportunity Knocks. Can you talk to us about those two things you got going on?
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely enjoying the opportunity I have to work with a company called Isogenics. They're a health and wellness company, and it's kind of right up my alley because I am all about living and promoting the healthy lifestyle. And so with some of their great products, we're able to change people's lives physically, and then there's a business side of it too. So there's the financial aspect of it too. So it's been a great fit because it's all about helping people achieve their goals or achieving their dreams. And so love that. And then my book. Yeah, I'm very excited about my book. It's my first book. It's something I've been wanting to do for some time. It's called When Opportunity Knocks, 8 Surefire Ways to Take Advantage. And the whole premise behind the book is really to stress to people that we all have opportunities in life, no matter who we are, what our background is, where we come from. The question is, do we seize them? And then the second part of that is, are we maximizing those opportunities? And I feel that at 5'10", 157 pounds, playing 9 years in the NFL, I think I got some lessons and some stories to share that I hopefully can motivate people to achieve some of their goals. So we're still working on it. The draft is done. I'm working on the revisions, and I'm hoping to get it done before the Super Bowl. It's just been a challenge because my business has been keeping me really, really busy, but we're going to get that baby done.
Absolutely. We'll be looking for that. Definitely will love to help you promote that when it comes out. Sounds like a great read. Always love to hear from you, JJ. And, of course, before we let you go, the Chiefs, of course, traveling on Thursday Night Football to take on the Oakland Raiders. I believe Marty Schottenheimer used to call it a hellhole or something like that. The Chiefs traveling to that hellhole on Thursday night to take on the 0-10 Raiders. Could be a trap game. The Raiders, you know, it's hard to go winless in this league. You guys went out to Oakland and typically would pound that team. Expect nothing less from the Chiefs this Thursday, don't you think?
Oh, absolutely. I think that Coach will do a very good job, and I've been listening to some of the interviews, is that he's pounded in the player's head that this is not a game you are to take lightly. You know, we are to play this game just as we did the last one. So I don't see any mental lapses. I see these guys playing strong, playing smart, and finishing and winning, and then obviously looking forward to the next game. Absolutely.
Well, JJ, give us a quick prediction. So we're going to hold you to the fire here. We're going to go against the spread. Chiefs big favorite in this game. What's the score and who wins the game?
Chiefs are definitely going to win, and I don't think the Raiders are going to be able to hang with them. I see something more like 33-14, something like that. I mean, Raiders will get a couple points, but I just see the Chiefs really just dominating that game.
That'll work, man. Let's keep this thing rolling. Okay, JJ Birden, cannot thank you enough for your time. I know you're very busy. We've probably kept you too long as it is, but thank you so much for coming on with us once again, and we'll definitely be in touch. And let's keep this thing rolling, man. Let's get the Chiefs. Let's get them onto the playoffs, and let's get them that first playoff win since your team in 1994, my man.
Excellent. Hey, Clinton, I appreciate you guys. Appreciate all the work you guys are doing, and I love the message that you guys spread. So anytime you want me back, I'm there.
Thanks a lot, JJ. You take care, my man.
All right, guys.
And and welcome back to the Outsider Sports Show. We are continuing to talk Chiefs and Raiders, and who better to do that with a good friend of our shows, George Atkinson. George, the last time we talked to you, everybody was at 0-0. We got the Raiders at 0-10 for this Thursday night game. What is going on with the Oakland Raiders? And as you, as a former Raider, do you have any anger starting to build towards this franchise right now?
No, I don't have any anger towards the franchise, but a little disappointed in the record right now. I mean, when we played, we set a precedence here, and we set tradition here of winning, and that's not acceptable to be 0-9 now?
0-10.
0-10. Yeah, okay. Well, that's just not acceptable as an ex-player, but it is what it is, and things have straightened themselves out. The Raiders got to be able to stop the run a lot better than what they're doing. Got to play defense a lot better, and the offense got to put more points on the board. Although the defense held San Diego to 13 points last week, the offense didn't produce. They only scored 6 points. So, in all phases of the game, this team has to get that.
Well, how do these Raiders get over the hump? They've only been beat by 17 points or more 3 times. It's not like they're getting blown out every week. This is a solid, as you can be, 0-10 team. They're in games. They just can't seem to finish.
Yeah, it's finishing. It's right. They're not finishing, and they get off to a good start, and at points, at certain times, they have led some pretty good teams that were ahead of New England for a while. Had a chance to actually tie the game, and was in the red zone about to score to tie it, send it to overtime, and anything can happen in overtime, as you well know. But it didn't happen. It didn't finish. Turnovers. And it's just those little things that causes you to lose games, and the breakdowns that they have at the most inopportune times. Missed tackles. Last week was a missed tackle on CJ with Anderson, is it?
Yeah.
That was missed, the tackle. And he went on and scored, and that kind of broke the game open. From that point on, the Raiders, they were playing well up until that point, but then things broke down after that. So it's been that kind of a season, one play, and it just kills the momentum of a bad play. So this is a team that right now has to find an identity, and it has to definitely learn how to finish football games and play for 60 minutes, and not 4 to 8 minutes. It's a 60-minute game.
Well, you mentioned that defense. I kind of wanted to touch base with you on that, and I thought that would be a better unit this year with the additions of Carlos Rogers, Terrell Brown, Justin Tuck, Lamar Woodley, and drafting of Khalil Mack. What's going on with that defense? We know Tyvon Branch has been injured, but what's going on?
Well, they're just not making the big plays that they should make. And the big plays are stopping teams, stopping the run. Right now, I think they're ranked 30th against the run. Teams averaging over 100 yards a game on them. And you have to stop the run in this league. You try to force teams to pass and make them one-dimensional. And the Raiders have yet to do that. They haven't stopped teams, and the defense, you got to tackle. You gotta penetrate. You gotta penetrate on the other side of the ball to stop the running game of teams, and that has been the Achilles heel of the Raiders is the run game. And this week it's going to be even more of an issue for them because Jamal Charles right now is tearing the league up. What do you have? 178 yards against Seattle. So Kansas City is running the ball well. They're not passing it as well as they're running it, and they're getting their touchdowns basically on the ground. And a large production is Jamal Charles. So the Raiders will definitely have to address that tomorrow if they want to even think about beating the Kansas City Chiefs.
Well, you talked about the game against Kansas City coming up here on Thursday Night Football out in Oakland. Could this be a chance for the Raiders maybe to get that first win? Kansas City coming off a very physical game against Seattle, a game that they were able to win, but short week, short turnaround, having to make that flight out to the West Coast. It's very hard in this league, George, to go 0-16. Only one team's ever done it. Does this seem like a recipe maybe for the Raiders to get that first win and catch Kansas City maybe off guard?
You would think this is a perfect opportunity based on just things that that you just alluded to. Coming off a short week, having an exhausting game with Seattle, and hopefully that they come in a little too confident. They may think that, well, this is an automatic jump. So yes, it's an opportunity for the Raiders to be spoilers here. It's an opportunity. This could be a trap game for Kansas City if all of those things manifest themselves within the team. But the way this team is playing, 5 straight, it's going to be a football game. They're not going to come in here and roll over and lay down. Kansas City's been playing well, and the Raiders will definitely have a battle on their hands.
Well, the Raiders fired their head coach, Dennis Allen, in the middle of the season. In comes Tony Sparano as interim head coach. What changes have you seen? Have you seen more from Tony Sparano than you have in Dennis Allen?
Yeah, the guys are playing. They're playing a little better. They're just not finishing, and that's what the problem was with Dennis. They weren't finishing with him, but they are playing a little bit harder for Sparano, I think, than they did for Dennis. But the results are still the same, and that's where the proof is in the pudding. And they still haven't won a game, and Dennis left what? It was the 4th game of the season when he was fired, and it's the 10th game. So, I mean, what's this, 11th game coming up? So they've lost 10. So 6 games lost to Sparano. So, I mean, there's some things that definitely has to be fixed here. And it has to start as soon as the season's over in order to fix it.
Well, there's a rumor going around. NFL media insider Ian Rappaport reported that Jim Harbaugh looks like there's a very small chance that he comes back to the San Francisco 49ers. His wife wants to stay in the Bay Area. That sounds like good news for the Oakland Raiders come the offseason. What do you think about this rumor?
Yeah, and there are rumors about Gruden. There's rumors. Right now, rumors fly. It's that time of the year. But until he inks the contract and say he's the head coach of the Raiders, I'm not. I just don't see him leaving San Francisco. He's been successful there. I mean, he transformed that team pretty much, gotten them in the playoffs almost every year. I just don't see him leaving. If he does, then it may be an opportunity for the Raiders. But like I said, also, there are rumors floating around about John Gruden. You never know. But it would take that type of coach to turn this culture around. You're going to need a master motivator, basically. You're going to have a guy who can come in and actually flip the culture of losing here, and a guy who understands the game and knows talent and knows what he wants in players. So, it's going to definitely take a guy of that caliber, definitely a Gruden or a Harbaugh, to turn this around. Either one of those guys, if we could land them, would be a big, big plus for this organization right now.
Yeah, we know how you feel. Just 2 years ago, the Kansas City Chiefs needed the same thing. Andy Reid came in, and here we are. 1 year in the playoffs last year, and it looks like we're headed back. But moving on, I wanted to talk to you about Derek Carr, this rookie quarterback. How's he played? 13 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, over 2,000 yards passing. How's he looked to you this season?
For a rookie, he looks exceptional with that. The kid can play. You can tell that it's in his blood. Yeah, he knows. He knows how to throw the football. He just has to mature a little bit more. He makes rookie mistakes still, and that's to be expected because that's what he is. He's a rookie, and it just takes time for him, I think, to develop. But I think if the Raiders put the right weapons around this kid and continue to develop him, I think the franchise will definitely be in his hands. And if it's in his hands, I would think it's in good hands.
Well, George, big Thursday night game. Chiefs coming out to play the Raiders. We are so glad to be able to talk to you twice during each season as the Chiefs play the Raiders, and the Kansas City Chiefs come in at 7-3, a team like you said. The Chiefs have won 6 out of their last 7 games. It's been a big time turnaround from the 0-2 start that we saw here. How do you feel like this Chiefs team is playing right now? Obviously, Jamal Charles, Nile Davis kind of controlling the running game. Alex Smith, just kind of his same non-turnover, mediocre self. I hate to use that term with Alex because he is a winner, but how do you see this Chiefs team right now, and how far do you think they can go here in the AFC West?
They got a chance to win the division, I think. They're playing on all cylinders right now. The game against Seattle was a real good game. I mean, a hard-fought game. And that could be the turning point for them. That could be the turnaround for them. Although they have won, 5 straight, as you said, 6 out of 7, they have corrected themselves, and they're a steady football team. They have some veterans in a key position, and they know how to finish. And this team definitely has talent, and it's a team to be reckoned with. I think they can go deep into the playoffs. I think they could wind up, even if they continue to develop and continue to play like they're playing, wind up in the conference championship. So you look at Alex Smith, as you said, he's a steady quarterback. He doesn't turn the ball over. Although the passing game is not as good as they would like it to be, I would think. I think he has 11 touchdowns through the air, none to any receivers. And I'm pretty sure that's one of the things that they're working on. Whenever you're not clicking in the red zone through the air, you just have to work on your passing game, because when you get around that 20-yard line, you want to put it in the air if you can. Whereas you get closer, you run out of space to run routes. So when you hit the red zone, you want to put it up, and you want to have a receiver who can go up and get it. And I know you have Dwayne Bowe there, but it seems like they're just not connecting it right now in the red zone. Once they solve that problem, they could really be a team to reckon with.
Well, George, I tell you what, after all these years, Chiefs and the Raiders aren't supposed to get along. That's how it's always been. Kansas City and Oakland is supposed to get along. I've just seen a bunch of clips from the rivalry. Lynn Dawson talking. We've had John Madden talking on this video I just saw. But you know what, George? You're our favorite guest here on the Outsider Sports Show here in Kansas City. We love you so much. You're revered around here, and I can't hate the Oakland Raiders anymore. I'm announcing it right here. I cannot do it. I do not hate the Raiders.
You don't hate the Raiders, you said?
Cannot hate the Raiders anymore, George, and you're a big reason why. You're our favorite guest. What's happened? We have no more Ben Davidson spearing Lynn Dawson. We have no more Tatum. We have no more Atkinson forearms. We just have all this love going on. What's up with that? How did that happen?
There were some good. Listen, I think back. There were some good games there. I tell you, I enjoyed playing against the Chiefs. They were a great team during the time when we played. We were fighting for the division every year, and they had some great players. You look at Otis Taylor, and you look at Lynn Dawson, and Tank Holmes, and Mike Garrett. They had some great players on those teams, and I always enjoyed playing Kansas City and against Kansas City, because it was going to be a hard-fought game, and I have the utmost respect for that organization.
Well, that's what it's come to, George. We've turned in from wild brawls on the football field to a nice little playful pillow fight here. And you know what? That's okay, George, because we still remember those days.
That's what age does for you, right? It mellows you out.
So true, so true. Well, George, I tell you what, we look forward to it every time. You're the man, and we can't thank you enough. Let's catch up again next time we play. Here's to a good game on Thursday. Let's have a good hard-fought game out there, just like the old days.
Hopefully a win for the Raiders.
Oh, wait a second. Do we gotta get some trash talking going now?
Yeah. Just before I go off, I'm a trash talk.
Oh, well, that's
safe. Like I said, a win for the Raiders. We need a win real bad.
Absolutely. And George, hey, let's get the Raiders back on track. Because I tell you what, the NFL, my enjoyment of the NFL, honestly, dating back, it is better when the Chiefs and Raiders are both good and both teams are trading blows out there. Because I'm tired of the Denver Broncos. I'm tired of Peyton Manning. Let's get back to Chiefs and Raiders as the number one rivalry in the league.
Get a good rivalry going again. Give the fans something to cheer about and boo about and whatever they want to do. Throw bottles, cans, snowballs, whatever.
That would never happen here in Kansas City, George. Only out there. I don't know anything about violence or throwing trash. I don't know anything about that.
I've had many things thrown at me at the old Arrowhead Stadium back in the day. Trust me.
Hey, I guess it goes both ways then. There it is, guys. Well, hey, George, you have a great weekend. Enjoy the game here this Thursday night, and we'll talk again. We got a rematch coming up here. We'll definitely give you a call around that time, my man. You have a great one.
You got it, man.
Thanks a lot.
You're the best, George. Thanks.